opinion, was the Prince, as we call him, the Prince. Bronny James was drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. Marv, I want to get your thoughts on it. Is it nepotism? Is it business as usual? I definitely want to get the audience's comments on it. What are your thoughts about Bronny James being drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers, and where do we go from here? Go ahead, Marv. The floor is yours.
Well, I mean, I don't think any of us are surprised by it. This isn't like breaking news. When you turn it down NBA workouts, when you average 4 points in college, and your agent is saying that you won't sign a two-way deal. I mean, the writing was on the wall that LA was going to draft him. Now listen, we do know nepotism runs rampant on all levels of professional sports, just not from a playing aspect, front office aspect, coaching. We can go down the list. So if he's in a position to be able to benefit from who his father is, who am I to say that he's wrong for that? He's not. I think all of us who played the sport would have loved to have a dad that could have got us drafted, even if we didn't deserve it, because we all know that if he he wasn't an NBA talent just from what he did on a collegiate standpoint and what he achieved. But now we'll find out. Nepotism, great. He's in the NBA, great. He's drafted, great. Now we're gonna find out if he can really play. And I know you and I had a conversation about, the summer league and just how much guys are going to go at him. So now we're going to really find out about who Bronny James is. But I'm not mad at him for getting drafted by the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers are who they are. The front office is terrible. I mean, everybody saw this coming. It's the AARP Lakers. I don't know what they're going to do in free agency. Even if they add Clay, they add Clay Thompson. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but we'll probably get into that later. But I'm okay with it. I just hope, and I like the kid. I have nothing against the kid. I just hope it's not too much for him to be able to bite off, because his talent may not warrant where he is. Right. That's the only question that I have, because if it doesn't, if he stinks up summer league, man, get ready.
Well, a couple of things. And, you always say a mouthful, Marv. I love you, but you always said, I'm going to go back to two things. I'm going to, Ray Blackwell says Angel Reese is the rookie of the year. I do agree with that. He also said the king has shown his power. The prince has arrived. And Jesus Jones says it's both, and there's nothing wrong with it. People are selective when they start pointing fingers. Miss Keaton, no, it's not. He did what a father should do. I like those comments. Marv, you keep saying to me, and you talk about Bronny's talent, and a lot of people talk about it. But A.J. Johnson was the 23rd pick in the NBA draft for the Milwaukee Bucks, right? He averaged 2.9 points a game. He averaged 1.3 rebounds a game in 26 games and 0.7 assists. Is he worthy of the 23rd pick?
Where is he from? Because listen, hold on. Before you go down this route, like, what's his metrics? Tell me what his metrics are, because everybody loved to bring up Bronny's metrics when he was kind of coming through. So what's the kid's metrics? Tell me who he is.
He's 6'7", 6'8". He was a 4-star recruit out of Texas. He didn't go to college. He went to Australia and played in the NBL. Right? But still, he averaged 2.9 points a game, 1.3 rebounds a game, and 0.7 assists. Are those, because I hear people all the time quoting stats. That's not worthy of the 23rd pick in the NBA draft if we're just going off of stats.
Fine.
So
Lee.
We have to put it out there, because stats is not the NBA, more than any sport, Marv, drafts on potential. Is that not correct? They draft on potential. And Bronny James has just as much potential as all of these guys. That's
not correct.
And so
that's not correct.
I think
that's not correct.
Why is it not correct? Why isn't it correct?
The NBA drafts on potential when you're 7 foot, when you're 6'8", 250. That's when you draft on potential, on what could be. You don't draft on potential at 6'1". You never have an NBA team drafted on potential from somebody. You don't know if Bronny has talent. So you can't say he's talented, because the only thing that we see him doing is shooting open jump shots and 3 clips from his workout where he made some threes and made a couple of good. That's all we've seen. So we don't know how talented Bronny is. His college
We
his
don't know.
college career wasn't good.
He averaged
So
more
if you want
points
to
than the
use the AJ, if you want to
he
use the
averaged
AJ
more
kid,
points than the
fine.
23rd pick in the draft. He
Okay,
averaged more points,
okay.
more rebounds,
If
and more assists. So
I'm
obviously he
fine.
has some talent.
If you want to nitpick and have one instance of a guy that probably shouldn't have been drafted, fine. I'm cool with that. Okay,
I'm
AJ
not
Johnson shouldn't be drafted, and he goes into the same category as Bronny James.
What I'm saying is that talent, it comes in all types of levels. Bronny can play on the ball defense and he can shoot
How
the
do you
three.
know, Lee?
There's a
This is what
place
I'm
in the
saying.
league.
No,
That's what the Lakers expect.
there is no
That's
empirical
what the
evidence that
Lakers
tells you
expect.
this.
That's what the
Fine.
Lakers expect.
And
The
nobody
Lakers
else
drafted
did.
him. That's what they're
And
looking for.
nobody
But
else did.
we don't know that because Rich Paul told no other team to draft him because he would go to Australia and play.
Hey
So
Lee,
the Lakers pulled out.
You know damn well that if another NBA team found value in Bronny James at a higher pick, he would have been drafted. And they would have said, "Damn, Rich Paul, Clutch Sports don't run the NBA. The owners do."
Well,
Okay, so
evidently,
let's stop that narrative real quick. Like Rich Paul
evidently,
was
Rich
pulling some
Paul
damn
runs the
strings.
NBA because
Okay,
he called the teams and they didn't draft him. But let's get
says who?
says it was reported on ESPN. It was reported by a lot of people that have knowledge of the draft situation. But so I just want to debunk the narrative that the guy doesn't have talent. Too many people say that
Nobody
when there
said
are
he
other
didn't have
people
talent,
with
Lee.
comparative numbers because you look at his numbers. Numbers don't set the stage for
Numbers,
what
no, no,
NBA
no,
players.
number. Like they said, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. Numbers always tell the story, man. Like at the end of the day, I'm not saying LeBron is not a talented kid and that he can't be productive in some kind of way, but to act like what he did was conducive to being drafted into the NBA without the last name James, it's just kind of ludicrous, right?
Well,
So I don't get the argument. I hope he's successful. I ain't got nothing against the kid. I'm talking from a pure basketball standpoint here, and there's a reason why that they muddled the draft and they put all this context out there about Bronny because they knew the Lakers were going to draft him. Like everybody knew this wasn't news. Like we knew where this was going. The reason
there's
why he
no,
stayed in the draft, the reason why he did no workouts for anybody else was because it was already written. Everybody knew what was getting ready to happen.
but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And again,
I didn't say there
that
was.
all of that can be true. All of that, and I don't necessarily disagree with you on that. All of that can be true, but the guy still, as far as how the NBA drafts, he's right there, and he was the 55th pick. And for anybody that says he's not worthy of being drafted at the 55th pick, that's just not true. That's just not true. He
Well,
was drafted. Great point.
here
As far as him being drafted, he was drafted for his potential on what the Lakers saw. So, but we give you examples all the time of players that have numbers that do not represent being draft eligible or being able to be drafted that are drafted into the league. And what do, Marv? They hide them away in the G League. They hide them away overseas until they're ready to do what is done every day. I'm going to catch up a couple of them and get back with you. Nancy McChristen, Bronny James' dad should help him. Others do it all the time. It's about time we were able to help our children. Let's see, Norma, Miss Keenan, he will be fine. The move LeBron James made as a black father was major. I agree with all those things. Do you consider it a nepotism, Marv? Do you think people, as they try to pile on to LeBron for making this move happen, what do you think about it? Nepotism or business as usual for the NBA?
I mean, it's both. Yeah, I mean, like you said, two things can be true, and this is one instance, right? I'm gonna use your famous phrase, right? Two things can be true. It's both. And again, let me be very clear. I don't have anything against Bronny. We had a dad the caliber of LeBron James and the power that he has will be fortunate to be in that situation. That's not what this argument is about. Yes, LeBron James did what he's supposed to do for his son. If he's got that type of power and he's got that kind of pull and he's earned it, Now, let's not act like LeBron hasn't earned this type of power because he has. He's been the face of the NBA for a long time, and he's done everything the right way. So I'm not doubting that. I'm talking about from a pure basketball standpoint. I don't have a problem with Bronny getting drafted, but if we're talking pure basketball, that's one thing. If we're talking about the fact that his father was able to weave an NBA superstar and a megastar that he's been for 20 years, that's another argument, and I'm fine with that. But I'm not fine on the basketball aspect because I know from a basketball standpoint, he's not ready yet. But he's also the 55th pick. So most picks that get picked that low, they never see an NBA contract. So that's going to be the next thing that we'll find that's going to be interesting. Does he get a guaranteed deal at the 55th pick? That'll be the conversation I want to have because I think he will.
Well, I think he's going to get a guarantee. I think he's going to get a guaranteed deal. I don't think it's going to be a two-way deal. I think he's going to get a guaranteed deal. I do think he's going to spend some time in the G League to start off the season, and then he's going to come up to the Lakers, and that's going to be one of the most hyped G League to NBA transactions that's ever happened. But so I'm fine with all that. But I just say for the 55th pick in the draft, there's no way you can say that he's not ready when all of